with the Isle of Man Vicar, walking by the sea, sharing tales and laughter. Come along with me. Morning dew is shining, seagulls call and flee. Vicar's cap a-waving, stories wild and free.
Hello and welcome to another walk with myself, the priest in charge. I get it all wrong, don't I? The Reverend Simon Archer, priest in charge of the parish of Arbury and Castletown, also known as the Isle of Man Vicar. Another walk today. Well, I've done some shorter walks. I'm doing a bit of a longer one today. We are at, hopefully, got a little clip at the start, which will give you a clue, and no doubt the thumbnail, but we're at Dhoon Glen. One of the ones on the list of places that people have said, you've got to go see Dhoon Glen. I've got to do Ballaglass as well, apparently. But we're doing Dhoon Glen. I'm going to do the route that apparently, according to the sign up there, says for experienced walkers. So we'll see how that goes. But that will take me to the waterfall and then hopefully take me back down all the way to the beach. So we're going to give that a go. Just parked up the car. It's plenty of parking over the road. Just caught the, I didn't catch it as in jump on it, but I just saw the Manx Electric Railway pull into the station and drop someone off. So it is on the Manx Electric Railway, so you can catch that from Douglas while it's running still, or perhaps next summer, and you can someone started up a chainsaw up there, and you can get dropped off at Dhoon Glen and actually do that here. Brilliant. Bit my timing well, didn't I? I don't know if you can catch this. Probably catching it on the microphone. Timed it perfectly. But anyway, we're going to set off on our little journey. Hopefully you can hear me, and we'll head towards the waterfall and the route down to the beach. It's been closed for a while because of tree works, because of all the damage that was done by the storm, clearing the trees. But apparently I heard it was open now, so we should be able to get down all the way to the beach. There might be some bits that are closed off, but we'll do our best. We'll do our best to see what we can catch on the way. I've got the body mount today, so I can go hands-free, and you can catch a bit of a point of view walk along the way, and we'll have a chat and talk about whatever's going on in the world, whatever's going on around in my world, and locally, and the churches and anything else like that. So we'll do a nice little walk. Lovely weather today. It was torrential rain yesterday, so it might be a bit boggy out there. I don't know. Might make the waterfall a bit more exciting. It might be a water pouring down the rivers, I don't know. But it was absolutely torrential at times yesterday. So a bit of a change in the weather, but blue skies today. And I've had the roof down on the car. I've had the BMW Z4. I've had the roof down and enjoyed the drive up here with the music playing. And I didn't record the drive because I thought, you know, I'm just going to have a nice drive up here. Perhaps we'll do some separate stuff with a bit more of a car tour of the island. But let me get away from this. People have suddenly decided right at this moment to start cutting the grass, and we'll get on our little journey. So you might have noticed that I've my last video I've started doing podcasts. So I'm going to be talking as much as I do usually, because I talk a lot anyway, but I'll probably be describing a bit more about where I am. So I've just left the car park to sort of the car park and crossed the road, gone past the station, and I was in a sort of a flat area, and now I'm just starting the walk, and I'm walking down almost like sort of a spiral staircase. It's or steps, the wooden the concrete steps and gravel, but we're heading down a gravel path. We're moving away from the people who were cutting the grass. We decided to start. I'm only joking. Do you know, I absolutely appreciate all the work they do. It's not me complaining about them doing works just as I'm about to film, you know, so that'd be ridiculous. I'm really appreciative of all the work that these guys do to keep all the paths open. And as we move away from the sound of the petrol strimmers and blowers, we're kind of descending into the glen. I'm walking along a wooden walkway now. This is definitely not a disabled access route. There's lots of steps, but I've got the nice, as that sound disappears behind me, I've got the nice sound of the little river beside me. Let's talk as we go. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a rundown about Dhoon Glen, known for its natural and rugged beauty, is a small wooden glen 5 miles south of Ramsey. The glen is not to be missed by keen photographers, with its splendid waterfalls and streams offering the perfect picturesque photos. The waterfall present halfway down the valley is referred to as the Inneen Vooar, Inneen Vooar, or Big Girl, and is one of the highest falling waterfalls on the island, falling over 40 metres in 2 drops. The terrain present can be difficult to walk, therefore caution must be taken when visiting the glen. Rugged paths, steep inclines and wet paving are common features of the glen. So the glen goes all the way down to the sea. So we should get a nice little walk all the way down to the beach, and we'll try and do the whole thing. It's quite steep, allegedly. It looks quite steep. I'm walking along now amongst all sorts of different trees. There's ferns beside me, and say the trickle of a little river. I will adjust cameras at times just so you can get a bit of an idea of because a lot of people, it's about thinking about whether they can access it as well, especially particularly visitors. So I've been contacted by a few people who are visiting the island. People are thinking about moving to the island. Lots of people doing that at the moment. There's a beautiful log crossing the stream with moss covering it. We are seeing a few of the sort of trees that are leaning across the river. Some of them might be older. Definitely there's a few that look like they probably came down many years ago, because they're covered in moss, so they've died off and covered in ivy and moss. Beautiful sound of the stream. It's just such a lovely sound. Yeah, so podcasts are coming just simply because I was looking at other ways I could share what I do. Give you a sound of this sort of stream as we walk past. And I think people could seem quite apologetic, but I've got a couple of people who say, I find it quite relaxing. I think what they mean to say is your streams make me fall asleep. That's so not a bad thing at all, because I literally fell asleep to a stream last night. I kind of, on YouTube, it's quite a nice thing to be able to kind of relax and listen to something in the background and drift off. This is interesting because we've got a huge, it's like a bridge. It's probably part of the Manx Electric Railway going along here, but I don't know. There's huge brick stone structure next to me with a little tunnel coming up, like a very square tunnel up ahead. So I'm assuming, yeah, caution, mind your head. There's a sign there. I've just got someone's got a little fire going. It might be in their back garden, I imagine. They're just probably burning off some rubbish and things. But we now got this amazing little tunnel, actually. This is really cool. So I'm in the tunnel now. Let's see if I can make sure people watching the video can see as well. A few little drips falling on my head. There we go. Not too bad. I'm 6'2", and that was a fine. I start picking up the pace a little bit. Yeah, so I fall asleep to streams all the time, especially anything that's like outdoorsy, if it's quite quiet, if it's just like the natural sounds. You won't get that so much of me. I have done a silent kind of camp once, which was quite good. I quite enjoyed that. A bit like a silent retreat for myself, and just recorded the natural sounds around me and whilst I was cooking and things like that. And we kind of immediately the water's dropped down and we're much further, much higher up. You can hear more of a rush. And I wonder what that would have been like a few days ago when we'd been so dry for so long. I think I'm on the right side of the river. We'll have a look at the GPS if it lets me. Got a couple of different bits of software that I can use. The signal might not be great here, and I haven't downloaded anything. It's not like I'm going to get lost here. This is not poor preparation, because I'm quite comfortable getting a bit lost on the island. You really can't get that lost. Here we go. It's telling me I'm not on either path, which is great. I should be able to join it though. Hello. Hello. Hiya. Hello. Okay. Hello. That dog was wagging its tail so hard its backside was wagging as much as its tail was. You know, when the whole body's wagging. I just checked on map.me, which is a really good sort of walking app, mostly free. You can use it for free. And trying to work it out. Well, we're coming up to, we've got dropped down again, we're closer to the water, and we're just coming up to another construction, like a bridge. All over the island you get bridges, stone bridges, and where perhaps there was other train tracks before, or roads, but maybe they're not in use anymore. There's quite a lot of that. This is quite high. We're walking up towards it. In fact, you can't cross over the bridge. Interesting. Almost looks like the setting for a water wheel, because it's got more like looks less like a bridge, more like there's a channel in the middle of two large walls. It's got that look to it. Lots of people in the comments were going, it's this, it's that, it's the other. I don't know. What we'll do is we'll keep going this way and see if at some point we are at this amazing waterfall that I think we're okay. I think we can cross over in a bit here. It might be some of the routes disappeared during the recent, well, say recent, early in the year, the storms in the beginning of the year. And we're now in September. We've got a large tree crossing over the path. The path is really uneven, so it's definitely not a simple, an easy walk, if you like, for people who might be a bit less able. But I'm 50 and unfit, so I'm managing all right. I've got beautiful sunlight, but just got a break in the trees here, and you've got kind of the sun shining through, and there's a nice bench here. Again, quite often you'll find all these benches around. A few butterflies still about, making the most of this last bit of sunshine. There's that feeling at the moment that we're probably heading now towards winter. Some of the leaves are falling on the trees already. We don't get much of an autumn in the way of sort of trees covered in sort of brown and gold leaves, simply because the wind here generally picks up, especially this time of year, going into winter and through winter. So as soon as they get to the point that they're dying off, they then end up completely blown away and all over the place. So heading down now, a bit of a slope. I'm staying to the left because I know that when I looked at the map at the beginning, it was kind of stay left and you'll go on the waterfall path, and that's what we're aiming for, really. Head towards the waterfall. And it does go off to the left. It seems to be really steep. We have an option of going the easy way on the way back, which seems like a good plan. I've got my brew kit with me. Got some supplies. I haven't bought anything like sandwiches or anything. Just bought some graze stuff. I love graze, like their barbecue, savoury sort of sweet corn and nuts and things that they do. And then got one of their like flapjack type things. So now heading down some fairly steep, let me adjust the camera so you can see, some fairly steep steps, heading back down towards the water. I believe this will keep us left and therefore head us towards the waterfall. So yeah, if you want to listen to the podcast and listen to the chat and the water and the sounds of nature, and if that you send you off to sleep, then YouTube, whatever you want to listen to it on, then that's great. Do it. That's what I do. Got a small waterfall here. Quite often what happens is I do these and then I bring my wife and my family back here to do another walk, just us, without filming, because it's quite nice to do these walks without recording as well. Yeah, it's quite wet down here. I'm not surprised because I say the recent rain we've had, and you've got to remember it's like some of it's like just bits of slate and stone, so when they get wet they're quite slippery. But I'm wearing still in my kind of more summery Vivo barefoot. They are the Forest Escapes, I think, ESCs, Forest ESCs. Oh, and my watch is telling me that we're now in the UK. Just happens all the time. Must be a much stronger signal coming from masts in the UK. Beautiful. So we've got the stream beside me. I'm looking at the monitor on here. I'm pretty sure you can hear that. We've got a wooden railing on my left, the stream on my left, and then we've got quite a high bank on my right now as we head further and further down, staying close to the water. I always find going down much harder than going up. Going up is quite tiring, but going down, you tend to... I find my knees don't like the kind of keeping yourself... Kind of need to keep walking, keep exercising to keep these knees working. It's quite a... Rather than steep dropped waterfall, there's like a stream running down the rocks in the bank there and an incline. Right. Yeah, so the podcast is going to be launched the same time as the videos in general. I don't think I've got any subscribers to them at the moment, but I'm putting them on there. We'll see what happens. So if you want to subscribe, you can. If you've got Spotify or if you've got Apple, you can go to Apple Podcasts or you can go to Spotify and you can find the Isle of Man Vicar. And there I'll be with my walks from now on appearing also as podcasts. So every now and again, the valley drops below you, and the water disappears off into the depths of the glen, and you kind of at a more steady incline. It kind of leaves me behind as such. But looking at the how steep these steps are, we're going to be joining it again reasonably soon. So today's a Monday the 8th of September, and so today's a rest day for me. I do usually make sure to make the most out of my rest days if I can. So I'll be doing something, and lots of people do like to do the whole lay on the sofa, watch Netflix, all that kind of thing, which is absolutely fine. But I have that feeling that when I do that, I feel like I've wasted a day. The day disappears and you feel like you've not really had a day off because you do so much in your working days that when you do nothing on your rest days, it sometimes feels like, well, for me, it feels like I've wasted it. So to try and do something. Today's a bit more of a walk. Cool. I'll try doing this way. I've got my waterproof in my bag. I don't think I'm going to need it. Actually, got a very thin hoodie on. I might have to take that off at some point. I've got a woolly hat on as well. It was just to cover my head, but I'm feeling like that's a serious overkill. Oh wow. Okay. So you must see that, if you're on the video, you'll see that through the trees and the kind of the waterfall. It comes from really high up. You can see it's the two drops. We should be able to get a little bit closer to it as well. A winding sort of hairpin path here as it heads down this hill. So this is the one that says it's for more experienced walkers. I imagine because of the steps. Because if you haven't got the strength in your knees, and I really haven't actually, but if you're really weak in the knees, then going down all these big steps is going to be a real problem, I'd imagine. The wooden railings are changing parts of it where clearly there was old metal railings before, and we've got those in parts here. Between metal and wooden. Ah, beautiful. Let's see if we can get in a position so you can see. Look at that. So you can see just up the top there, this is one part of the waterfall, but actually there's a second part higher up, which you might just make out. And it's a very kind of, at the this second part of the waterfall, there's like almost like looks like the top of a roof, like a V shape. So the waterfall falls on that and then splits either side into two separate streams, and falls down a very sort of mossy, algae-ridden wall of rock, with ferns clutching on either side, various other plant life hanging on the edges. There's quite a lot of fallen debris from the storms, like a large trees kind of sitting in where the pool would be, and I imagine that would be something that would be great if they could remove that, because there's clearly a gap there where people paddle in the pool, but you wouldn't be able to do that easily at the moment because there's a whole tree that's kind of come down into that pool with its roots and its branches. Quite a large one, not gigantic for around here, but quite a large one, and it's all in that pool and or blocking it a little bit. But absolutely stunning. See if we can take a nice photo of it. Let's pause for a moment. I'm going to pause for a moment just so I can do a little video portrait, so I can put a little TikTok up, I think. Right, let's keep going. Much though this is a very, very beautiful spot with this stunning waterfall, I can go slower movement on this, but anyway, very nice. Very happy with that. Beautiful, love it. I didn't really check the time of how long it took me to get here. Not very long, 20 minutes or something, maybe 25 minutes or something to get here, maybe half an hour, I don't know. I was driving in the car. A lot of the way it's very pretty scenery, so it never feels particularly like hard work to do that. Oh, we've got a lovely little bridge crossing over the river here. I wonder how old this is. So yeah, you can follow me on here. Obviously, so a big announcement would be, I guess, that we broke the 500 marks. That was my aim. I was aiming to hit that by the end of the year, and we're a little bit ahead of ourselves. So we're at 500 already. Well, 508, I think, last time I counted. I didn't do a big announcement on the last video because we're at 500 or 501 or something. And I know from doing Twitch, I announced a big, I think I hit 1,000 on Twitch, and I was like, 1,000 followers on Twitch, and I was, yeah, 1,000 followers, and about 5 people left, and I was below 1,000 again. It's quite embarrassing. So I waited until I got a few more over the top, but now we're over 500. What does that mean? Pretty much nothing, apart from it's a kind of just a target I set for myself. Anybody who's on YouTube will know that there's some monetization features you can hit when you hit 3,000 hours of views and 500 subscribers to the channel, but we don't get any of that. Well, I don't know if we get that. We don't get any AdSense or anything over here. So even when I hit 1,000, I'm going to keep doing this and hopefully hit 1,000 subs when we hit the 1,000, and when we hit the 3,000 or 4,000 hours of watch time. It will mean, at the moment, it will mean absolutely nothing because I won't get any ad revenue. That's all right. Don't do this for the money. Maybe in the future it could pay for the equipment and bits and bobs. If you really feel the need to support, just crossing over a little bridge here. I do have a Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. Again, on those you can search for Isle of Man Vicar. Quite often I put the links in the description or in the pinned comment. And so you can absolutely, if you want to, support me by going on Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee. But I really don't mind, don't worry about that. Just that some people really, really, really want to help out and rather than them not being able to. It gives them a way they can. And it just helps to pay for things like literally buying my things like food and coffee and bits and bobs while I'm out, or replacement equipment. Camera gear is really expensive. This camera's about £600 to give sort of good, nice 4K footage on a gimbal. I'm looking at an action camera at some point. That's the last one for Santa at Christmas. So yeah, any help's gratefully received. But you really, really, really don't have to. I'm just walking down further into the glen. Looks like there's quite a lot of trees across the path, so this is going to be interesting. There's a really, really old little bench that's been put up that's completely covered in moss. And damp, and I can't imagine anyone sat on there for a long time. And to the left, some of the erosion has caused some of the side of this to disappear, so the paths, be quite careful on the path as some of the path just isn't there. And coming up on this path, we have got trees down across the path which we're going to have to clamber through. Proper adventure. Feel like Indiana Jones. Now the question here is, do you get really low and climb under, or do you try and climb over? I'm going to go under, right. And another branch here. Branch, tree basically, right. And we're underneath. Excellent. That's right. I mentioned Indiana Jones. So I was meant to be on Radio 4 on Sunday. It got cancelled last minute, but I might well still be on Radio 4. Hold on. We're across another bridge, across this beautiful stream. So Indiana Jones, the video game, has got some new downloadable content, DLC, that's coming out this week. Now, I have to say that in my past, I was known as the gaming vicar, particularly during lockdown. And I had a ministry online involving video games, and it became a bit of a news story. End up being all over the telly and radio, in America even. And so every now and again, although kind of everyone else has moved on, every now and again something interesting will come up that's connected between video games, morality, child safety online, and like this particular downloadable content, which has a kind of a bit of a question over it, because it's I'll tell you about that in a moment. So the BBC contacted me about being part of this interview on the Sunday morning programme with Edward Staunton and a professor. I can't remember which professor it was, but a professor from the US, I think. But asked me to be on the show, so that was happening up until Saturday, when they said, oh, something else come up, and maybe next week, so we'll see. Now I've come to another huge tree across the path, and I'm going to go underneath this one, because climbing over it could be funny, should we say. I should fall over more. If I fell over more, don't get me wrong, I've got caught. I'd probably get better views. But there we go. We've got past that tree. That's about 3/4 of a metre thick or something, that's fallen across the path, come down the bank. Wouldn't have liked to have been down here during the storm, that's for sure. It's quite magical here. Oh, let's get back to it. Yeah, so there's this downloadable content for Indiana Jones, which involves being under the Vatican in the catacombs and trying to find the helmet of a Nephilim. And the Nephilim in Scripture is it's in Genesis 6, I think. You see them appear, and I think you'll find them in the apocryphal text as well. Maybe Ezekiel, but I know that's in Enoch. I think I've had Ezekiel on my head. I don't think it's in there at all. But there, you'll find this talk of Nephilim, who are supposedly the offspring of fallen angels and human women. And supposed to be very powerful and very strong, also incredibly large, so giants. So this giant helmet that's somewhere under the Vatican, probably beside the Holy Grail, the the cross of Christ and the Ark of the Covenant or something, but quite Indiana Jonesy. And I guess there's a little bit of looking for offence. See if anyone can be offended by this. And I'm sure if they look hard enough, you can find someone who will be offended by this. Maybe perhaps it's the Catholic Church. Perhaps if it was something about the Church of England, I might have been more concerned, but probably not. All I see is an opportunity that if anyone asked me about it, I could talk to them about the Bible. It's not exactly, and I promise you, if you are a church goer, if you're a Christian, and you go to a church, go and ask the people there. Say, have you ever heard of the Nephilim? Oh, beautiful. We're just coming to the end of the valley and we're just looking out over the sea. Must be really close to the beach now, towards the end of the river. This sort of massive cutout of the glen with all the stone and the pools. Ask a congregation, and I can almost guarantee that no one will know what you're talking about. Because it's not something you kind of talk about a lot. Doesn't come up in the lectionary. A lot of people, many Christians, I know, how can I say this, but many Christians don't actually read their Bible. So the chance of them knowing what a Nephilim is, I'd say slim to say the least. But yeah, and if you're feeling really cheeky, ask your vicar. And probably find that they don't know anyway. I asked a lay minister and they hadn't got a clue what a Nephilim was. So I asked another member of my congregation, very biblically literate, and she knew exactly what I was talking about. So there you go. And we're out at the end of the glen, just walking down to the beach. It's glorious sunshine. Clearly some people have been down here and camped, I imagine, at times, because you're not allowed to camp in the glens. You can probably get away with it on the beaches. And try and find the path. It's easiest to get down here. And if you want to have a bit of a giggle, ask your vicar. He knows what Nephilim is, and probably find they don't. Nice little kind of small waterfall right at the end with a big pool right at the top of the beach. I imagine that's quite a nice spot to have a dip, actually, as well as you've got the sea there. You could go in the sea, swim in the salt water, then rinse that salt water off in the lovely pool behind me. And we're looking out over it. It's pretty. It's not calm. There's a little bit of a breeze, but it's actually looking pretty nice. There's I'm saying at the foot of the river as it flows across the stony beach, pebbly beach. And I can see down here we've got the remains of someone's had a fire on the beach. Not too fussed about fires on the beach, not a beach like this, because it really can't do very much. You've got to be careful if you're near grass on the banks behind you, because sparks fly up and you could light something 10, 15 metres away. And it looks like someone's made a bit of a fort. They've made a wall out of stone from the beach, and they put some ferns down as almost like a bed. So perhaps someone put a tarpaulin up and slept down here. Not a great spot. Not really any flat spots like you see where you could easily pitch a tent. But beautiful, clear waters. And a beautiful beach. So what we're going to do is I'm going to sit down, have a little drink of water, make a brew, and find a spot that's quite pleasant. There's the breeze coming from inland, really. So as long as I can find a seat. There we go. People have left their green bags full of dog poo under stones, because obviously they don't want to blow away, but really they just don't really want to take them back. What a shame, eh? Happens too much. But it's lovely. Behind me I've got the sort of the banks and covered in, it's still got some of the purple heather and the ferns and the rocks jutting out. There's a plane flying across the sky. Blue skies, a few white clouds. Really is glorious. Let me see, let me find a reasonable spot to plant myself. Tide looks like, I think it's going out. Looking at the wet stone and where, yeah, because I can see where the seaweed line is, so I think it's on its way out, so I could probably put myself here and be quite comfy. I've got like a rock here that looks, I didn't bring my seat pad with me. I knew I'd forget something. I'm carrying quite a lot of gear too. Right, let's get set up slightly differently so we can do this this brew. Okay, so check microphones on. So my bag has a lot of stuff in it, I admit. Camera gear, waterproof. I do have my drone with me. That might be possible. It doesn't feel too windy. I might be able to get a nice little beach view and perhaps an idea of the glen from the air. There's the particularly large flat stones around me. I think that's too much. This is my brew kit, as you know, if you've watched any of my other videos. So it's really small. But pretty much carry it in a decent sized pocket, so everything I need plus a bit of fuel to do to make myself a cuppa wherever I am. Just a little shoe polish type tin. Been put together from a couple of different kits. One's polymath, I think. Polymath products. And that's the stand and the. Right, come on. Just find a spot. There we go. One's polymath products stand tin. Did come with a windshield, but I don't use that windshield with it. I've got a different little windshield that I use. And I got the Lixada pot set. I've actually taken the handle off that because I realised I didn't need to be carrying the handle. It just kind of gets in the way as well. So I don't use that. Little folding spoon, and I've got some fuel in my bag as well, and a lighter here. All does the job. Fuel out. Water first. So when I light it, I can get it cooking straight away. More than enough. It's about 300 ml I put in here. Cup's about that. Just give it a little bit more. All I do is I use some of it to wash it up as well. So I've got plenty of water on me. I usually carry at least a bottle, but I use quite often 2 bottles of water. So I've got usually a couple of litres on me, which probably a lot of people who go lightweight will go, it's too much. Don't need that much. But I like to stay hydrated, so it's better to keep that with me. This is the thing that always falls apart because I forget that I usually bend these out a bit more flatter, because what happens is where they get flattened, where they get curled in the cup, they don't push against each other enough to give them that kind of resistance. Let's just bend those out a little bit. Very ridiculously lightweight, and I've actually cooked a full fry up on this as well, like with a pan, and it wasn't very strong, but it managed to do it. So, and there it goes, falling apart, as it always does. This is annoying. Right, every time. This is the Tom Shoe Titanium. Once it's, do you know, it's hard to get them together, but then it's almost impossible to get them apart when you want to. Right, come on, you. No, that's wrong. Done it wrong. I need that round that way. Ha ha, ha 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 ha. You so-and-so. It's usually all right once it's together. There we go. That'll do. No, it's falling apart. Ah! Come on. This could be the worst one yet. Usually it just catches and then that's it. It doesn't want to... Oh, now I can't even move it to put together. Come on, right, now stay. Stay. Trying to make there we go. Right, he says, I'm not going to touch it anymore. Let's put the lid on there. Let's get some fuel in my little burner. This is bioethanol. That's probably plenty. We'll give that a go. I usually use too much of that as well. That's let straight away. Let's see if we can balance this on top. Lovely. Oh, now it slips. There we go. It'll be all right. Lovely. Then I have my coffee. I've got way too much with me. I've got 2 extra cups because I've got a bag full of stuff that I just hadn't taken out of the bag. Loads of coffee, sweeteners, bags for tea bags. Got tea bags in there. Could make a cup of tea. I haven't got any milk with me. I just use these instant. These are the best ones I've found for making just a quick coffee. We'll leave that for now. So yeah, so this is a day off, a rest day, and I've got to walk through a beautiful glen, look at waterfalls, and go sit on a beach, have a cuppa. Not the worst place to be, is it? Not the worst place to be at all. Not if you like the outdoors, nature and things like that. So I do rave about this place probably a little bit too much, but we try not to convince people to move here because that's really easy for us to do because we love it. But you can't, if you were to actually convince someone to move here, a lot of people are quite fed up in the UK. The danger is that then you're kind of responsible for them finding the joy that we found. And you can't really be responsible for that sort of thing. So I try not to do that too much. Just kind of, it is what it is. For me, it's amazing. You know, I've driven a little way up the road and gone for a lovely walk and sitting on a beach. And that's my happy place, if you like. All the kids are loving it. My daughter's on her first proper day, really, at college. She just passed the GCSE, she's just started college. My son's at school, seems to be enjoying himself in his year of his GCSEs. I've got a son who's in Aberystwyth. He's decided not to move back at the moment. He's quite happy where he is, so he's finished sort of university, or finished with university, and he's an ABBA, enjoying that life. And my daughter, my eldest daughter, lives in Foxdale. In a really rural area, surrounded by chickens and horses and things, and works in Douglas. So yeah, you know, everyone seems to be doing really well. My wife, obviously, mentioned before, working at Clear Pharmacy, it's sort of Irish-owned pharmacy company that's over here, bought out all the Lloyds, I think, on the island. And she enjoys her job there, and she works kind of part-time, 30 hours a week, so she does enough hours there and enjoys that. So we've all found our little spot, obviously, with my ministry. And we've had some good times recently. Had a prayer walk on Saturday morning, where we went to Tynwald National Park and Arboretum. So we've got like a park with trees, and they represent the different parishes around the island, and it's this lovely kind of well-kept park that you can walk around. And then we went to Green's Cafe, very famous cafe on the island, Green's Cafe, for a cuppa afterwards. A couple of people had cake. I was very good, I didn't, but I had a nice flat white in there. I'm actually on a bit of a mission to find the island's best flat white. So far, they've all been pretty good, to be honest with you. Stanley's doing amazing flat white. Earl of Derby doing amazing flat white. They're both in Castletown. Where else have we been? Obviously, the Sound does a really good flat white. I'm trying to remember what Noah's was like. So NOA, Noah's. It's like Noah's Bakehouse, or they make a lot of artisan breads and things like that. But they're big coffee people as well. And I can't remember exactly what their flat white is. Flat white is my go-to coffee. I used to be like a filter or occasionally a latte. Very, very rarely a cappuccino or anything like that. But then I got into having flat whites, and it's just, you get the strength of the coffee, but with a bit of steamed milk in there as well. And finding a really good one's important. And what did we have yesterday? We were at Tynwald Mills for a little while yesterday, and popped in at now what's it called? Oh, is it Geb's or something like that? Geb? I don't know now. But the cafe in Tynwald Mills, and that was again a really good flat white. I'm not finding any bad ones so far, which is great. How are we doing? Nearly there. But yeah, finding the best flat white on the island. What else can I tell you about? So we had prayer walk services on Sunday, lovely, really nice. Difficult scripture on Sunday, so we had to follow Jesus, you need to hate your mother and your father and your brother and your sister and even life itself, and take up your cross and follow me. And if you don't leave all your possessions behind, you have to give up all your possessions. And it's a tricky text. And try not to explain round it, and try not to say, So, it's going to be a tough one for people to take on the chin, but that was an interesting one. I'm not going to go into my sermon, but I don't put my sermons online. It's funny that I've been asked about it. I've done copies of them before for people and printed them out and gave them to people and stuff like that. And the only thing I find is that, I don't know, the sermon is of the moment, isn't it? A lot of the time my sermons aren't written out in completion. They're like parts of them are scripted, parts of them are bullet points and notes and ideas that I know the kind of track that I'm going to go down. So to print them out for people means me having to then think about it and write it out in full, which is hard work in itself. It's like an extra job to do. Just listen to the sermon and make notes if you want to in church. And also, it's kind of that, once they're done, they're done. Like the week before, I was inspired for my sermon by the funeral I was taking. I had a meeting about a funeral, and there was lots of tears, but there was lots of laughter too. So I preached on sort of laughter and in that sadness and the grief. That laughter and how tears and laughter are both healing, and it was our healing service. And so it was at that moment. It won't be the same next time we have a healing service or next time we have that scripture. It just won't make sense in another context. So, and then we had that funeral on Friday. Lovely family, the Higginbothams. Got to say it right, Higginbotham. The family actually gave me 4 different pronunciations of the surname. We sat around the table. I always check this on a funeral. I always check to see how to pronounce names and surnames and things, and just to be on the safe side, So, and I was like, can I make a guess at this one? is it pronounced Higginbottom or Higginbottom or something like that? I said first of all. I said because I know quite often names are spelt differently to the way they're pronounced. And they went, no. The wife of the gentleman who died, so Jasmine said to me, no, it's Higginbotham. And then about 3 different children around the table went, what? What? I don't think it's that, is it? And one said, no, I think it's Higginbotham. And the other one says, no, I think it's Higginbotham. And the other one went, no, it's Higginbotham. So I had 4 different pronunciations and knew immediately that, and then we just laughed because it was so funny that members of the family didn't know how to pronounce their surname, or they all had different ways that they pronounced it. It's brilliant. And that's those moments, and it really does. It lightens everything. Everyone relaxes. Everyone has that moment where they just go, okay, this is tough, but we're going to get through this. If we can laugh, we're okay. Not every funeral's like that. You can't do it in every funeral. Yeah, definitely can't. I've done some pretty traumatic ones before in the past, and it's definitely not something. It's probably hot enough now, you know. Oh, these packets, the only thing with these packets is it pull the terry bit is right by the seam, like that, and so it breaks or it gets stuck and it doesn't open properly. All rubbish being taken away, even the tiny little bits. Hasn't even opened properly. Ugh. Come on. Oh, another tiny little bit of plastic. Handle is quite hot, means the flames have been probably hitting the handle a bit more than I would usually like. Let's see. But I have these tiny little finger oven gloves. They're so good. He says, not being able to pick it up at all. Perfect. So what I do is keep the water to one side that I've got left over. I can just put that out. Go. Put the water to one side, and that's my washing up water in a bit. And we get our folding spoon, give it a stir. Now I do have really, really powerful, quick, fast stoves that are still quite small, not entirely as no washing up. We lick the spoon, wipe it on our trousers, and it's fine for next time. Yeah, so I've got faster stoves. I've got some really good ones I love. Work really well, particularly if I'm camping and carrying a lot more gear. I would take that with me rather than this small one. But for walks, the great thing about this little setup is the way it slows you down. Definitely recommend getting one. I've had a couple of people now who told me that they've picked theirs up. They've got their kit together. Friend of ours, Wendy, she's picked up her little stove. I'm hoping she's used it. And I tell you what, there's nothing like sitting with it, especially tea. Tea's terrible if you carry it in a flask. It tastes awful. It goes all bitter and horrible. But if you take the bits with you that you need, I use Nalgene bottles for milk as well, but Nalgene bottles of whatever, you know, you can use powdered milk or whatever. I use the instant coffee pouches, but I do have a little unit that I can make fresh coffee with as well. God, it's always really hot in that titanium cup. But yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to encourage more and more people. It feels like it could be a movement, you know, that kind of making a brew when you're out in nature, that kind of slowing down, and it takes time. It's like, it takes longer than boiling a kettle or whatever you want. It's important to slow yourself down. And sometimes you need to do things to stop doing things, you know? So making a brew like this with a little bioethanol stove. Does that cool down a bit? So with that, a little bioethanol stove. Now I won't be able to take it apart. No, there we go. With my little wing guard, titanium wing guard, folding spoon. And you probably, to get good stuff like this, like the Casada cook set, which I can't find anymore actually, but the Casada cook set with the folding spoon, the mug, the kind of smaller mug, the 750ml container which you can cook food in easily, all in the pouches, lighter, some fuel in a Nalgene bottle. All that stuff together might be 50 quid. Might seem like a lot. That's the cost of a kettle, isn't it? For a decent kettle, and you can get kettles for 10 or 15 quid, but I mean, our kettle set, we got a really good one, and that was not a fancy one, a good one. I check reviews, and you get yourself that, and this is going to be, this will make you brews for you know, you can keep this going forever. But there's nothing like sitting out somewhere like on a beach or in a park or in the woods somewhere and making yourself a cuppa, sitting down and making yourself a brew. It's just the best. I'll give you a little, make sure I don't kick that over after all that effort. Let's turn you around so you can have a look at my view from here. So yeah, I get to sit here overlooking the sea on a stony beach with my cook set, making my cuppa, sitting here having a chat with you guys. Not bad. So I'm going to pause it for a moment, come back to you in a little while, and once I've had this cuppa, I'll have my quiet time, have this cuppa, and we'll catch up either maybe with a drone shot, possibly. We're going to have a look, see if that works, see if we can have a little run along the beach and have a look at the glen, and then it'll be us walking back. So walking back to the car, taking a slightly different route, I think, if I've got it right. So catch you in a moment. Right, so we've had a nice cuppa. I had a few of my snacks, just some of my Grays barbecue bits, just like dried sweet corn and peas and things like that, crunchy bits, really nice. And relax for a bit. And now we're going to head back. So going to say goodbye to the beach at the bottom of Dhoon Glen, the little waterfalls. And we're going to head hopefully a different path. So let's put you in front of me. It looks like there's no path there. It looks like it's collapsed, but we're going to give it a go. And this is supposed to be the easy way as well. All clipped in. Right, let's get walking. I really need to zip my car keys into a better pocket than this. I'm going to lose them at some point. There seems to be a path that runs at the end of this beach. So we're going to give that a go. We'll try it out. See, it looks like it's all collapsed in front of me. So I'm going to just walk along to the, I guess the south side of this beach, the southern end. Not the same way we came. And it looks more like a goat path. Is this the easier one? Yeah, I'll give it a try. I was hoping it's going to be easier on my knees, more gradual. It won't go back past the waterfall, but we're okay with that. That's not too bad, actually. A bit steep. is usually where you get the heavy breathing on the video. So on the podcast, I'm sure it's going to be even better. Oh, beautiful. So I'm staying at just a little bit of the headland here by the beach, and it is beautiful bluey green waters, really clear. I'm in the shade this side, but I've got the sun shining on the other end of the beach. Phone, car keys, pretty much everything else I think I've packed. I don't think I've got anything that's left behind. I did check, but always good before you walk all the way back. It's making me stressed. Got to actually check my bag. One of those things you just go, camera gear. I did leave a case behind for my DJI Osmo Pocket 3 one time around the sound. Never got it back, but I actually got a case I like even more. So there you go. I got quite a bit of something called K and F. So Kilo and Foxtrot. They're not called Kilo and Foxtrot, but K and F concept gear. They do lots of bits for DJI stuff. Got a little bracket that fits on the bottom of the Osmo Pocket 3, which helps it to attach to the various different things, which I like. Got the selfie stick stroke tripod. Not the best for if it's breezy. It's not the most stable, but it works really well for what I want it for, especially weight-wise. And the case I bought, I think, was KNF Concept as well. But what I feel like, this is supposed to be the easier path. It doesn't feel like it. I guess this bit down to the waters might be the trickier part. You could do a loop without ever getting to the beach. Whew. And again, wow. Well, unfortunately you can't see, probably, I don't know, maybe a bit with the video. So I'm higher up here and you can see the water and you can see the seaweed, but how clear it is. It's quite a favourite around here for divers, not just here, just on the island in general. Because it's not, I guess because, oh, here we go, done my usual, twist my camera around to face my 16 chins. Yeah, it's good waters for it. And we've got lots of marine life. It's worth looking at. Things like, we've got 2 dolphins, which are regulars, Moonlight and Starlight. And we also have pods of dolphins coming through. And some minke whales, basking sharks. We've had bluefin tuna recently. You know, when the predators are there, the other stock is really good. Climbed quite quickly higher up here. So we're definitely looking down onto the beach, looking beautiful. And every pause, there's a chance to gather my breath. I don't think this is going to be, surely this isn't going to be as bad as Iri Cushlin. That was steep. It's another walk I went on where I went and cooked steak on the side of a hill, overlooking the sea. In front of me, it's quite a grassy path here with ferns either side and trees. It has that real magical, spiritual quality to it. We've got the silver birch hanging across the path, either side actually. Other trees I won't be able to identify. It's just really pretty. Again, the dappled light coming through the canopy. Very quickly we're finding ourselves well above the beach, above the river. It goes down to the beach. And this route doesn't take us past the waterfall, so we won't be heading really low down and headed up steep steps all the way back up again. We should be on a bit of a steadier path that should lead us all the way back. Now, there's two ways here. Let's check my map. I think come on, maps me. Open up. I think I'm meant to go left. Yeah, back. If I go left though, and it comes back on itself. We are going to go left though. Let's see if we can join a particular path. That should be reasonably short. So this was recommended to me, this app, maps.me. And it's quite a good footpath map tool. Shows most of them good GPS location. So it really does keep you on the path. Oh wow. Already quite high up. Still climbing though. The thing with these paths is you're hoping that you don't go up and then have to go down again and then back up again when it's kind of reached its height and then stay level. Bit like that kind of flat route at Glen Helen. The high road wasn't too bad. Bit of climbing at the start and then pretty flat. Saw a couple of people at the start of the walk. Looked like they're heading into the glen. And then nobody. So I guess pretty much. Oh no, I did see some people walking their dog, didn't I? So a couple with a couple of dogs. Oh, another hairpin. Excuse me while I don't talk so much for a bit. I didn't do the drone. Ah, well. That's fine. Maybe we can do one from the top. Oh. Actually some beautiful houses looking over the glen. They're sort of floor to ceiling, windows over like 2 levels. Looking over the other side, it's almost like paddocks with beautiful white fencing. And there's the Manx Triskelion, the 3 legs of man, on their wall, but old stone walls around the edge of the property. Really nice. I can just hear the water along the glen. Walking amongst the heather, still in flower. That's a purple, like purple and lilac about. Do you love little steps like this? The roots have created a little step going across the path, and it's all interwoven. That's something someone would draw. One of these fantasy artists. Places where hobbits will hide. Oh. Trying not to be too out of breath and too focused on the walking, because I'm really not going to break any records. Getting great exercise, even if I'm a bit out of breath. But if you get too focused on the walk and the walking, you might miss what's going on around you. And it is absolutely beautiful. Very steep, a reasonably steep path with very steep banks either side, going down hundreds of meters into the gorge and the river, but littered with the heather and the ferns. Yeah. Whew. This path's got quite a lot of places where the roots, like the muds, the gravel and mud of the path have worn away, revealing roots crisscrossing the path. So this glen is definitely a lot of mixed woodland. So I've seen silver birch, large conifers, the odd oak, a real mixture, rather than the plantations where they're all conifers and pine trees in long lines, very evenly spaced and planted, so very uniform. Trying to work out all these, I think all the green leaves we're seeing here, like look like there's been plants all around here, probably where the bluebells grow when they flower. I imagine, with how many I've seen, these long thin green leaves, with how many of those are around, this must be absolutely ridiculous when the bluebells are out. But I imagine a lot of this was closed off when the bluebells are out because they hadn't finished clearing the paths after all the fallen trees. Yeah, sorry for podcasters who are listening to just spells of heavy breathing, especially as I intend to be. I do about as much editing as I do on my videos, which is next to nil. Because my walks are more POV, kind of present with me as I walk. I try not to, big slug in the way. Say in the way, it's not like it was huge. try to do the walks in real time. Partly that helps people who are going on these walks know exactly what those walks are like. It's more informative if you can see every step rather than 30 seconds later you're on the beach or wherever the destination might be. And partly because I'm not lazy, I just don't have huge amounts of time to sit there for editing for hours. As a priest, I whittle on about it, I know. I work 6 days, have 1 day of rest. And part of that day of rest I often spend out doing this, walking and filming. And I don't want it to feel like another day's work. So minimal editing, and that just gives you a much better idea of the walk as well. And you'll get on my mistakes. You got the things I say wrong, and when I start again, you'll hear me start again. That's not what I wanted. Where's my mat? Oh, I'm gonna stay left. We think this will bring us back to the road, he says with minimal confidence. Oh, right. I think I need to head up this quite steep steps up this bank. Into my maps. Woo. Oh yes. So the bits it says here are fairly straightforward. Aren't always that straightforward. There we go. Why couldn't I have found this path before? This would be, if I'd taken that left further back, I could have taken some more gentle walk up through, but we're here. Let's see, can we see? So, yeah, just, no, oh, well, anyway, we've cut a bit off, it took a bit more effort. So now, walking a rather wider, grassier and gradual path. I think there's chestnuts. It's a bit horse chestnutty. No, that's not. Definitely some mistletoe up in these trees as well. It's definitely going to be roofed down on the way back. Guess I start thinking about what I'm going to do next week, depending on the weather. Not that dependent, but you know, if it's absolutely horrendous, I won't. There's no point going out. I'm not trying to make those sorts of videos where someone's going, I went out in a dangerous storm, I camped in a blizzard, I did this, I did that. So many of them out there. I won't get anything go viral, but I'm happy with our gradual growth from about 10, 15 at the beginning of the year to 508 now. That's all right. Can live with that. Yes, it's taken 9 months, 8 months. But in that time, I've also been practicing and learning and seeing what works, and bringing in new things, bringing in AI to help with some stuff. Oh, I've got some beautiful dogs coming down this way. 3 of them. Hello. Hello. Hiya. There you go. There we go. Hello, everyone. How are we all doing? Are we all good? Hiya. Not at all. I can probably smell mine, so that's fine. She's not with me, but...
Your doggy?
My doggy's not with me, no. She's at home at the moment. She's very naughty, so she's being trained with a rescue.
They're all rescues.
Are they? Yeah, she's a bit of a mixture of shepherd, but Bulgarian scent hound, because we got her from Bulgaria.
She's a master in Romania and Scotland.
You're not surprised Romania, Bulgaria is all good places to find them.
They don't seem to appreciate dogs like we do, or any animal for that matter, do they?
No, she was found at a truck stop, and wonderful, beautiful dog, but still very nervous of other dogs.
Yeah.
We brought her over, and it happened to be just before lockdown, so she didn't get as much time to assimilate with other animals and dogs.
That was bad
So,
timing.
but she is pretty good. She's a barker, but she's we get lots of young people in the house and with my kids, so we get lots of people to turn up. She barks a lot, but she's very good with them. She gets used to people very quickly. So you could probably smell Luna.
Nice, you can smell a nice doggy. Come on. Enjoy your walk.
And you, have fun. See you later. Lovely. That's the trick, generally, is be very careful just to kind of, just when you've got dogs approaching, just stop still. Leave your hands down. Don't run. Don't stick your hand out to them. Let them come up to you. If the owner's concerned, they'll call them back or warn you. And they come over and give me a sniff because I smell of our own dog. And they're quite happy. So yeah. Now I can see a car up ahead, but I'm not sure this is the car parking spot I'm after. I can hear the tram though. Is that the tram going past? Quite possibly. Yes, I think I just caught a glimpse of it. So we've got a little bit further to go. Let's check the maps again. Yep, heard the boop. So we can walk up to the road and walk along. Nice to chat to someone. She was just saying that hers were rescues as well. We shall head up here. And hopefully, just to the right, we'll find the station, he says. Little bits we just crossed over the Radnafoilen, the way of the gull. And we've got this sign coming up that says about the trams. There's the trams ahead. A lot of the crossings here are just open crossings with lights. We have to be a bit sensible and keep an eye out. Slow down when you come into a crossing. There has been collisions with trams and cars. Obviously, always the car's fault. But we're nearly here now. Just walking up a normal road here. These last slopes are always the toughest. But when you get to the top, when you get back to the car, nothing quite like getting to your destination. Looks like I can see, yeah. So the main road's in front of me with the just about 20-30 metres away from the Manx Electric Railway line. We just missed the last train that went through, more like a tram. Just missed that, but it's fine. We're back to where we started. It's a little entertaining area, almost like you can have parties here. We've got like a tent. Go through the gate, not through the walking gate, not through the main gate. This is where we started with filming. Last big steps, and then we'll be at Dhoon Glen Halt, which is the station at Dhoon Glen. Smell of cut grass where those people at the beginning of the video or podcast were trimming some of the grass just around the edges. They didn't do all of it, they just literally did down by the fences. Oh. Shame the cafe's not open, but a lot of cafes do not open on Mondays. It tends to be the great for me, isn't it? My rest days on a Monday and everything's shut. It's not everything, but you know, a lot of the restaurants and cafes, to give them a chance to recover and get people a day off. It's much easier than trying to have people on different shifts and different days off. So we're back to the car. Bit dirty. Washed that not that long ago, but these things do get dirty, don't they? Right. Warm after that walk, I tell you that much. So yeah, time to get the roof down. Head back. We're there. Yeah, head back and head back to Castletown. Kids will be finishing up soon. Let's get back before all the schools start kicking out. And so yeah, hope you enjoyed the walk. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed visiting a new place. I've done Dhoon Glen now. So when people say, have you been to Dhoon Glen? I'm like, yep, I've got the video. You can watch that. Ballaglass will be on the list now as well. And some wintry ones. I don't know what I'm going to do for some of the winter walks. I've got a couple of places. There's a place where there's a really long wooden boardwalk across bogs and things like that. So everything here on the island, absolutely everything. Thank you for joining me on the walk. If you've made it this far, well done. Do make sure you like, subscribe, make a comment. Always good to make a comment on the videos. Really appreciate that. But make sure you're watching the Isle of Man Vicar on YouTube. Even if you're following on TikTok and doing all that sort of business, and Instagram, Facebook, wherever it is you are, make sure YouTube is the one I'm really focusing on growing, and where most of the big videos will be coming, or all the big videos will be coming out. And if you want to subscribe on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify on the podcast, search for Isle of Man Vicar on there, and you'll find my audio recordings of these walks. You can just have one in the background, relaxing, chilling out. So take care of yourselves. More importantly, take care of each other. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.